had to go. I still live on through you, and I hope you know I miss everybody, certified inside. But I know that this show is over, and the curtain closed.
Alright, y'all, here we go. So this is the reason that I quit working for the public school system. This is an absolutely true story. I swear, y'all, I cannot make this shit up if I wanted to. I couldn't. So, dang, way back, y'all, I ended up getting this little cafeteria job. I was just a little cashier. All I had to do was count out like $50 in change and ones and fives, give a little cash register right, do breakfast in the morning, and the elementary school was like the first grade through fifth grade, so it was real true elementary, cool little school. And so that's all I had to do. So I had to do that in the morning, and now I had to come back and do it again at lunch, count my money out. I'm done for the day, and it was a pretty good little chunk of change. I got holidays off. It was cool. The main thing about working for the school was the kids, y'all. And this is how I can understand the inner workings of schools and how I can see how something like this, like bullying, can happen. I'm going to tell y'all, this is what happened. So these kids, like everybody, y'all, I promise, they were trying to tell me everything they possibly could about their whole day and what they did the day before, because they had to push in their code to the little keypad, right? So they were trying to tell me everything. And Miss TT, I did this. And Miss TT, I did that. And by Miss TT, like the whole line all day. It wasn't that but rainbows and sunshine. It's just cool, sweet kids all day. So, another thing I want y'all to keep in mind is this. It got to the point where, I don't even know how this started, but I want y'all to keep this in mind because this is going to come in later in the story. At some point, somebody put a sticker, gave me a sticker, like Miss TT, I brought you a sticker at lunch. And then it just became this thing. The kids want to bring me their best stickers. I'm talking about, I had 3D butterflies. You know, I had like Spider-Man. You know, I knew this kid loved Spider-Man. Miss TT, I saw the Spider-Man thing. I got some cool Spider-Man thing. You know, just for them having that few seconds with me every day in front of my little register. And it was just a little desk with a little cash register on it. Okay, with all that space with me and the kids, like, right? And it was all day. Okay, all lunch and all breakfast. I loved it. Okay. Now, another thing I want y'all to know is that whether you know it or not, at any school, it is important that they have people that come in to breakfast and lunch, because if they don't fill quotas that they need in order to keep free lunch going. You need the free lunch kids, because even if the free lunch kids don't come in and eat, then that means that's a lot of extra additional food that just goes away. So that's, think about it, millions and thousands. America, the U.S. is one of the most wasteful countries, and I can see how, because we had to throw away a lot of food. And honey, on Wednesdays, shoot, on Wednesdays, it was McDonald's Egg McMuffin Day. It was real McDonald's Egg McMuffins. Everybody was there for that. Every Wednesday. If that's we go get a crowd on Wednesday. And sometimes we would have to throw a lot of them away when I first started. Now, what ended up happening was this. Because the kids love me so much, come to find out, the more I worked there, the chick was like, oh my God, we have more kids coming to breakfast than ever. And like, I was like, really? Because I didn't know that they had yeah, maybe I did, but it had steadily been picking up. And then it got to the point, after I worked there for like, about 2 months, like, she was like, yeah, she was like, this is the most kids we ever had at lunch, and it's because of you. And the kids will always say, hi, Miss TT, oh, Miss TT, always smiling, because I do. I'm always smiling. Anytime you see me, honey, if I ain't smiling, that's when you know something's bad wrong with me, because, honey, the way I feel is you can take my joy, but you can never take my smile, honey. So in this whole process, you guys, and I kept hearing, you know, some teacher was coming back. Like, oh, is she coming back? Oh, I thought she was coming back. And it was like, no, she's still sick. And come to find out, she had big cancer. All right. So I'm expecting to meet this big hero when she finally come back, because I done heard about her pretty much off and on the whole time I've been there. And, you know, expecting to beat this big hero lady that had big cancer. No, not the case. Now that's just the seed. That's just the seed. That's the first layer right there. Y'all ready for the rest of it? I promise I could not make this up. Okay, and this is how this all ties into what I understand about the actual school system and how it really works, and what I understand about bullying. So, there was these 3 kids, you guys, and you could tell they was poor kids. And I promise y'all, again, when I say I'm not playing, I could not make this up. I couldn't. There was 2 older boys, and there was this little girl. She might have been like in 3rd grade, I think. And you could tell, you know, they the poor kids. Y'all, literally, there was times, and I'm not talking about one time, you guys, when she literally came and looked like her mama dress and shoes. I'm talking about everything. And she just sliding along, you know, with little ankle socks on. You guys, this little girl has psoriasis so bad, and I'm not playing. You know, the thing that makes her skin rash, and you have to scratch it. And she would scratch everything. You guys, when she put her fingers on the keypads, sometimes even her fingers would have it on her. And I would always have to sanitize it after she left, because she would leave bloody fingerprints every single time on the keypad. So I have to spray it, because I can't have anything sprayed to the other kids for sanitation reasons. Okay, you can tell they're the poor kids. You know, these kids were always late. Now, my particular supervisor at the time, she's this really, really cool Mexican chick, and she was always real cool. So, we knew how it was, and then, of course, that was a lunch lady, so I was just a cashier. So, we had my supervisor, then we had the lunch lady, like 4 old, crotchety, really old lady lunch ladies, the real kind of lunch ladies, honey. So, it was like 4 of them, and, so, every morning, even though because, you know, they had to put stuff up, but when them kids came in, they were always late. They were late every day. But whenever they were late, we would make sure, I was like, okay, they in. And then they would put them back out some food. We would warm it up so they could eat. Every day they was late. Now, then the lady came back that had cancer. This teacher everybody been talking about. Now, keep in mind, before she came back, we didn't even have no breakfast and lunch monitor. We had an old Mexican janitor. He couldn't even speak no fucking English. He just pushed the broom around and made sure, you know, told kids to shut up in whichever language he could, the best he could. Whatever stuff went down, that's it. You know, he just kept order control. He was real quiet. He never had to. The kids was good. They just wanted to chill. So, when this lady come back, first day, lady come back. Kids come in late. We having a regular process. And she is, y'all, as soon as them kids sat there, she was like, get here, sit down. You sit down, you eat your food. Why are you late? Why are you late? You don't come to school late. Eat as fast. And just making these kids, I swear, you guys, I'm not playing when I say that. She was making these kids fucking shovel food in their mouths. And just eat. And just like a drill sergeant, just screaming at them. And they got their heads down and they trying to eat. You can tell these kids probably have not fucking ate bitch since yesterday. Oh, we'll get to that later. Calm down. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get my heat. Oh, I don't have my sparkles on. Oh, baby. This can't be right without my sparkles on. I was going to put that flame on. Shit. I was finna put that flame on, but we got to do the sparkles. So, this is what's happening the first day. First day, I say, after the kids leave, I'm looking. Because, you know, I'm a real woman. And you know how that moral code of real woman is, honey. We protect ourselves and we protect every motherfucking thing around us, especially anything that's weak. And you are not finna talk to these kids this way. Period. So I'm calming myself down, y'all. I'm heated up to here, but I'm calming myself down because I'm gonna come to this shit rational. Because you get one shot with me, you can get one. That's all the fuck you ever gonna get with me is one. Believe that. So I walk up to the lady. I say, ma'am, look, you know, you can tell that these kids go through enough every day I'm home. Please don't talk to them like that. Especially don't talk to them like that in front of me. I was like, they come in late every day, and this is probably the first meal that they had since yesterday. We don't know. So just please don't talk to them like that. Just let them have a little bit of peace, at least in the morning, so they can start their day off right, you know. Please. And she, you don't tell me nothing. And blah, 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 blah. Okay. I see I'm finna have a very stupid conversation with a stupid person. I don't do that. Alright. Okay, ma'am. Okay. So I go talk to my supervisor. My supervisor, keep in mind, she's real cool. She was in the freezer at this time. She didn't hear none of this. But the lunch ladies did. Okay. So I tell her about what happened. And she know the kids. Oh my God. Let me go back a little bit. Y'all know I'm random. God. If this thing is gonna freeze, but whatever, I'm gonna keep pushing. Okay, so The way I knew about these kids was before I even knew exactly who they were. I knew their name and I knew the family, because the mother was so lazy she wouldn't even just take the time to fill out the forms and send in with the kids so they could get their free lunch. So what ended up happening was that they were getting charged. They should have definitely been on free lunch for sure, but they kept getting charged money. So of course we had to keep calling them and just, please, can you just, and kept, sending letters home with the kids, etc., etc. So I heard about these kids before I knew about them. Okay, so we having to try to collect on this lady that needs to be getting free lunch, and all she has to do is just sign like 3 documents, you guys, just so they can get free lunch, and we're gonna erase all of that. But until then, we gotta make her do what we have to do, because we have to meet our quota. We gotta have the free lunch kids getting free lunch and all the paperwork in, because it is, you have to do certain things. She wouldn't do it. So that's how I knew these kids before I knew them. So, at this point, these kids always got their heads down. You can tell they're going through a lot. So I talked to my supervisor about it and tell her, she can't treat the kids like this, etc., etc., etc. She okay. She cool with that. So I say, should I go talk to the principal? Are you going to talk to the principal about it? Like, what are we going to do about this? And she, okay, I'll talk to him. I don't hear nothing else about it. Next couple of days, the lady don't show up. So I'm thinking, okay, everything must have been resolved. And dang, that was real quick. Nope. Like the 3rd day she showed back up, she had just been sick. Keep in mind, she's still recuperating from cancer. So the kids come in late again. We got the same drill. And this bitch is doing it a motherfucker again. And this time, everything in me was like, bitch, fuck this bitch. Fuck this shit. And I'm just looking. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I can't believe she got the absolute audacity to do this in front of me again. And I can't believe she had the nerve to treat these kids this way. No, you won't. Again, and when the kids are leaving, I say, I make sure and the kids, they don't like to be touched. They very shy and skittish, and, they those kind of kids. So I make sure that even this day, I know they don't want it. I don't care. I at least just say, I'm like, okay, y'all have a good day, okay? Y'all make sure you have a good day. At least that. And they put their heads down and kept walking. So I go up to this lady and I say, you know what, I told you. I told you not to talk to these kids like this ever again. And I go through the whole ramming. I said, first of all, these kids are not responsible when the fuck they go to school. There's opposites from parents here that are treating them this way and having them come into school this way and making the kids late. I said, this is not their responsibility. You need to be talking to the parents about this. Well, we trying to talk to the parents. I don't care. No, you haven't. You only been here about 4 days, so you ain't tried to do nothing yet. Understand me? But you're not going to treat these kids this way. I don't give a fuck. You need to talk to their parents this way, but you will not talk to them this way. And you will not do this again in front of me. I'm telling you now. And we both of them are down to the principal office, and we gonna get this together. At this time, my supervisor done heard it. She done rushed out. What's going on? So I'm telling her, and then so she like, okay, come here. She's like, she telling like, okay, you go, and I'm gonna talk to her for a second and find out exactly what happened. She said, I kind of came in at the end point, so I just want to see what happened. So I'm gonna talk to TT, and you go ahead and go to the office so we can get everything straightened out. I told her what happened. And then she was like, but TT, you can't be, like, you was doing all this, though. She was like, you was here. You was doing all this. And she was like, you can't do that. And I was like, but I'm in trouble. That's my whole thing. Like, I'm in trouble right now. I'm in trouble. She gets to bully and harass these kids and make these kids miserable. And I'm in trouble. And when I get to the principal office, it's the same thing. They taking her side. So that's what I'm saying. I can see. I've seen what happens there. And I'm not even finished, you guys. So then, after the whole thing, it just happened just my luck. It all just happened to coincide for an inspection, a school-wide inspection that we had been preparing for like the whole week prior anyway. Happened to coincide with that. So, the chicken, I guess, was been looking at me from afar or whatever. And so after the kids were gone and everything, she came to talk to me. And she was like, because at this point, y'all, my cash register, again, the stickers. My cash register is so full of stickers, y'all, I don't have nowhere else to put them. So I started just to make the kids happy. I would just put them on my shirt. I was putting them, started putting them around the desk and stuff. Because that was their favorite stickers, And they were so glad they gave them to me. So, then, hold on. I just didn't want y'all to see my little baby cup with peach juice in it. I love this cup. So, don't judge me. But anyway, Where was I? Where was I? Okay, so then the chick comes to inspect me, right? So she's like, why do you have all these stickers on your cash register? Do you put those on there? I was like, no. The kids always bring them. Because I didn't know it was something that everybody didn't do. I thought it was like bringing a teacher an apple or a treat. I thought all the lunch ladies did it. I really did. I didn't know. She was like, I've never seen that before. Okay. So another layer to this, you guys, is another little boy. And I can't say his name, but I would tell you this about him. His first name was Ray. And he was very effeminate, and of course they called him gay. And he was the sweetest thing. Oh my God, I loved him. That baby, he just wanted to be loved. And I think his parents, there were some high-powered things. I think they were like doctors or something like that. And so they just bully him all the time. Calling him, gay in his last name, and, really abusing him. So at lunchtime, he always wanted to just come in with me. And let me tell you some things about this little boy that was so amazing. All he ever wanted to do was either do his homework and just talk to me about everything. And Miss Titi, and Miss Titi this. And, it was cool because I'm just counting on my money. It's cool, And I liked talking to him. He was a really, really smart little boy. He just thought about different things. So either he liked to color in a regular little kid's coloring book, or he made these amazing drawings of birds. Y'all, these drawings were so detailed and magnificent. It was like something you probably would see in an art museum, like amazing detail. Especially he would do watercolors on them. And he would sit there sometimes just with coloring pencil and sometimes with crayons. He liked to color. And just color them in. They were amazing. And they treated him so bad like that. So after this inspection and after this argument with this, I'm going to keep pushing. It's going to freeze on me. I'm going to keep pushing. And after this argument with this lady, right? Then I come to work the next Monday, after this inspection thing. They had put a red line. So my register's right here. And the kids used to be able to just come up and talk to me and then go in. It was just a good line. They put a red line and told the kids they could not cross that line to talk to me. They did not want those kids to have a fucking smile, a piece of fucking encouragement, or nothing that was for the benefit of those kids at that school. And it disgusted me. It was so horrible. Bad, you guys. I could not believe it. Not only that, okay, I got written up for the altercation with the lady. I got written up for that. And they told, Lil Ray, they told him he couldn't come in at lunch anymore and talk to me. And they talked to me very strictly about that. Well, he can't come in. And I can understand, I do, even back then, I think, the little blonde lady had already, but that's black, that's white folk. I'm sorry, that's not black chick cashier shit. I'm just sitting here for like 35 minutes while this little boy, instead of going outside and getting tortured, he can just sit while I count on my money and I'm gone. And he gone. And he had a better day for it. And I'm trying to stick up for these kids that y'all don't give a fuck about. And why are y'all taking up for this villain? That bitch was a villain. Yeah, why are you taking up for the villain and not the victims? I can do better. So, it's my 2 weeks notice. Because I love my supervisor. I was down for her for whatever. But I'm not going to take this. And she was like, well, okay, I can understand. Because she had to take her sides. And I was not even mad at her. Because when we got that principal office, that bitch didn't know me. She was like, nope, bitch, the roots of done crowed on your ass. No, I ain't got nothing to do with it. I barely saw anything. And I don't know. So I was in that fight by myself. And it was okay. Shoot. Because, you know what? If nothing else, at one point in them kids' lives, they knew that somebody smiled at them, somebody cared about them, and I did get those few days, to deal with that. But I lasted at the job, I think, 8 months. Yeah, and I think I had been hearing about the lady like the whole time until she came back. That's what happened. But I had been there for a while, actually. It wasn't just that short, yeah. So, yeah, and that's how I can understand how if these were the kind of parents who really did try on one small tiny piece, and that's the only sliver I'm going to give them, because right now after this I'm finna run them in all the ways I think they could have possibly been wrong. But I can see how the school system works sometimes, but I also know how a family's supposed to work. So yeah, I just want to tell y'all why I quit working for the school system and how it really can be really Really fucked up, to be honest. All right.
Got you. Break it down. Come on. Even though I had to go, I still live on through you. And I hope you know I miss everybody.